Welcome to the ROCM Podcast, presented by ROCM Esports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new ROCM Podcast. I'm here with my co-hosts, as always, Johnty.
Hello.
And with Rachel.
Hello.
A co-host that isn't usually here, but our main co-host couldn't be here. But yeah, and our very special guest, Effie.
Hi.
She's the voice actor of Astra from Valorant, and she plays in a play of Harry Potter and many other things. She does theater, and yeah. So Effie, how are you doing?
I'm really well. How are you?
I am good. Are my co-hosts also good?
Yes.
Same here.
Everyone's good. It's amazing. Yeah, we tried to record a podcast a bit ago, and it crashed. So now we're doing it again. But now we hope everything is going to be fine. But yeah, let's start off. But let's start off. How did you become a voice actor for Astra?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was doing theatre in Ghana for almost 10 years. And during the COVID lockdowns in 2020, we couldn't do theatre. So we started making radio theatre, which is basically a play on the radio.
Oh, wow.
And so about, let's say, early January 2021, a friend of mine in the same theatre group said there was an audition for a radio play. And I was like, oh, okay. And she asked if I was interested, and I was like, why not? So when I got to the audition, I found out it was actually not for a radio play, but for the role of Astra,
Oh, wow.
the agent. Yeah, and I was really excited because, she is a Ghanaian agent. I am a big advocate for specificity when it comes to talking about different African backgrounds. And so the fact that they made her specifically Ghanaian, her backstory elements, I was really interested in that and respected what Riot was doing with the character. So I went in with all my energy, prayed about it, and made sure I had as much fun as I could with the audition. I got a call a few weeks later to say that I had the role. So that's how I got the role.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know radio plays were a thing like that. How does that work?
Well, I mean, I guess if you look back to the days when before streaming platforms were so popular, before television became popular, radio was the main way to communicate and have music and all, in people's homes. It was the most affordable as well. So it's basically the same as a play, but I guess you have to use your voice more, put more emotion or energy into the voice. And then, of course, the use of sound effects and things like that, so that people really feel like they can see what the story you're telling. So these days, because radio is not as popular in terms of people listening for a long time, you'll find that people do radio plays and put them on YouTube. In some countries like Ghana, where radio is still popular, they definitely have a market. Some people do them now as podcasts as well. So you can definitely find great radio plays around.
That's pretty cool. That's kind of a perfect thing for like in the car or something. You could just put that on and you kind of have a movie, but you don't have to look at anything.
That's correct. And it's so much fun because you have to perform in a different way because people can't see what you're doing. And I think it's just as entertaining as an audiobook in a sense, just that in this case, you get to hear all the different voices of each character instead of one person reading it out to you. So yeah, absolutely awesome for the car, for a long flight, a trip, or just to try and stretch your imagination if you don't enjoy the physical task of reading.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look into that. I'm kind of curious about that. I've never experienced it like that. I am.
Oh, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So yeah, Riot approached you, but they told you before that it was like for a radio play.
So not Riot specifically. It was actually a friend of mine. So Riot reached out to a company in Ghana that are kind of in the gaming field and in the recording field. So they record music and so on. They have a studio, and they reached out to them, and then they in turn had to reach out to people in the industry. In terms of finding talent. Ghana is not a place where a lot of people have an agent in the same way as here in Australia or the UK, the US, and parts of Europe. People don't really have agents for their talent. So a lot of people work freelance. They hear about an audition and they attend. And so in this case, they had to reach out to people they knew who were in the theater industry, in radio, and say, we need talent to come and audition. And everybody then reaches out to their friends. So it was actually a friend of mine who reached out and said, she thinks it's a radio play. And I was like, okay. So that's what it was. Yeah, a friend.
I see. Do you like record at a studio? Do they like have a studio like... or do they like fly you over to some country and you record in the studio there, or is it just in Australia?
So I recorded the original, all of Astra's original lines in Ghana. Ghana is a place where a lot of music, it's the home of High Life, the original home of Azonto, funk. So there's, we've got a very strong musical recording history in Ghana.
Oh, I see.
And so Riot had specifications that they needed in terms of equipment to use. And I reached out to some close friends of mine who are recording artists and producers. And they all pointed me in the direction of a few different people. And then I needed to just find out who was available on the days. And then we were able to record remotely. I think that was the good thing about COVID and about how technology has advanced is you don't have to be in the same space anymore for recording. So we were able to log in and access the teams around the world who needed to direct me and give me the information, as well as those who needed to hear what I was doing. And we were able to do that. Now that I'm back in Australia, I record from a studio here.
I see. Okay. But you were born in Ghana?
No, I'm actually what I call a world citizen. My family is very Ghanaian, but my father's family moved to Zimbabwe in the 80s. And that was to help out with administration. My grandfather was a diplomat. So I was actually born in Zimbabwe. And when I was 1, my parents decided to relocate to Australia. So that's my story. I'm Ghanaian, born in Zimbabwe, but Australian raised.
I see. Okay. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear because, like we play the game, of course, we play Valorant. And you don't realize at first, like, okay, you're hearing these characters, but they are also actual people. They have a whole story behind them, how they got here and stuff. It's always interesting to hear. It's like it opens your eyes a bit. But do you play Valorant yourself?
I don't. I'm so sorry to say. I don't play Valorant, and every time I get asked this question, I feel so bad that I don't play it. But I have had the opportunity or the privilege of meeting quite a few Valorant streamers, and I've had the opportunity to watch one of them. I've forgotten his name right now. It will come to me, but he plays and I get to watch him do that live, which is interesting. I think it would be much more interesting to actually play it though. So hopefully one day I'll do it.
I see. Yeah, we have like a Valorant team in our like school. Johnty and Rachel are both in the same Valorant team.
Okay, guys. Okay.
We used to have a player that was an Astra main. but changed sadly.
What happened?
I don't know. He still plays controllers like smoke that throw smokes and stuff. But I don't know. He changed off Astra. I don't know the reason exactly.
I know.
Oh, you know
Astra
that?
got nerfed.
Is it 'cause she-
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about the nerfing. I only heard about it when I have a few people that reach out to me on Instagram, and so I heard about the nerfing, and I was so sad.
Me too.
yeah. Buff Astra, dude. Buff Astra.
Bring back Astra.
I mean, it might happen if there are like not enough people playing Astra. I would think that the Riot would be like, hey, this needs to be improved.
Yeah, my understanding was the nerfing was because she was a little too powerful and needed, people preferred playing her with a group, right? Yeah.
I don't. I think Rachel knows more about that. Cause
I
I
can
like
hear Rachel saying, "Yep."
I like started playing Valorant around this year. I come from Counter-Strike. Rachel's more known in the Valorants, I guess.
Yep. Been playing since the beta.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you know everything back to who do you main?
I'm so sorry, but I'm a Raze main. And Chamber main.
Shocked.
Yeah, but I myself I play who do I play? I play
Fate.
I play Fade. I play Initiators most of the time. Oh, Effie? Oh no, what happened?
Uh-oh.
Oh no, here we go again with the fucking
Oh
audio
no.
Okay, is it our? It's not our end. 5,000 ping.
Oh. I think it's on our end.
Hello?
Hi, I lost you guys there.
Yeah, I noticed. We got 5,000 ping. I don't know what happened. We'll just continue. Nothing crashed, so that's good.
What was the last thing you heard?
Yeah, what was the last thing you heard?
So the last thing I said was I asked Rachel who she mains.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah. I said I was a Raze and Chamber main.
Oh yeah. All right. See, we can still be friends. Sure, no worries.
I hope so.
I mean Fade and I play Initiators most of the time. Or sometimes Chamber when I'm feeling my aim. I'm like, because Chamber's like you have to be good at aiming. That's kind of
Only
But
thing
most of
I
the times
understand.
Initiators with like flashes and that kind of stuff. So Johnty, what do you mean?
I main Chamber, but I don't have the aim for that anymore, so I have to switch.
Oh,
So
Why
I don't
not?
know. I am missing too much shots.
ah,
I have to use more utility, and Chamber has bullets as utility. And if I don't hit them, they're useless.
mm,
I mean training.
come on.
works, right?
Maybe if I train long enough. Training arc incoming.
Training arc income.
Fair enough. All right, I hear ya.
Speaking about the other Valorant ages, do you like speak or hang out with any of the other Valorant actors?
Hanging out is a little tough because we're all located all over the world. And so I haven't had that chance yet. However, I have spoken to Carolina Ravassa, who voices Raze, and I believe a character called Sombra in another game. So we've had a chat. Miranda, who voices Sky, the Australian character, we've also spoken a couple of times, but she doesn't live in Australia either. So, yeah. Hopefully, one day I'll get to hang out and meet some of them. Yeah.
Oh, you've never met any of them in real life?
No. When I came into the Valorant world was last January 2021, and at that point, travel around the world was really difficult. Yeah, but no one obviously lived in Ghana except me. And I think everyone else is sort of in the UK or the United States. So it's pretty hard to meet everyone. Yeah.
Didn't you miss like the connection between you and other agents for like interactive lines between you and other characters in the game?
No, you would think that it would be difficult, but it's actually the way they do it. You don't feel like you don't have the person there. It would be very cool, but it's the way they record and make it happen. We're able to do it without the other person.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
How does that work? Do they like send you lines and then you have to respond, or?
It depends. But yes, usually I have the lines and then they tell me, what's happening in the scene or in that point in the battle or whatever's happening. So I have to sort of use my imagination. If Astra is in a scene with someone else and that person has already recorded, then they may play a section of that recording back to me so that I can then respond.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't play any games yourself, or just?
No, I wish I could say I'm a gamer, but I'm not. I'm more of an arts and crafts person, as you can see. So if you were asking me, whether I knit or cross stitch, I could tell you what I do.
No, but
but
also, yeah.
Sorry.
No, you can continue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I do a lot of craft in terms of hobbies. I also write a lot, do some poetry. So I think my hobby and free time leans in other directions than gaming.
I see. Oh, poetry.
Yeah.
So you like what kind of poetry do you write? Like.
I don't know how to describe. Well, in terms of themes, my interests. I started writing a lot of poetry when I was doing my master's in 2016, and so I'm studying a MA in arts politics, and my focus was diaspora and blackness and what it is as an identity. So a lot of my poetry is around race. It's around race relations, and then of course around the subject of love, of family. So there's a fair bit of memoir in there. I like to reflect on society and why things happen and how they make me feel personally.
I see.
So yeah.
Is there anywhere where we can find the poems, or do you not release them?
Well, there are a few websites that have published some of my poems. I used to put a lot of videos of them on Instagram, but I recently archived them all.
Oh no.
But I am working on publishing some. So I guess if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see once in a while when I do post a poem. So yeah, you can Google. I will send you my former poetry name, and then you can have a look there.
Okay. Yeah.
To read some of it.
I'll put it also in the description, so people listening to the podcast, they might be interested. They can also look it up.
Yeah. Of course.
How since you're like, I guess, from the same country as Astra, did you have to do much research into like the character before doing the voice lines?
No, not really. Interestingly, I felt like my accent wasn't perfect, but then I realized that, it's more about how the character sounds than it is about having a perfect Ghanaian accent. And every Ghanaian, just like I'm sure there are different Dutch accents.
Yes.
There are different Australian
Yeah.
accents. Yeah, so I had to sort of just tell myself to just give it my best shot. And, I am, like I was saying to you guys, I'm very interested in race, but also in history and identity making. And so, my parents are very intentional about sharing elements of our culture and language with us. Of course, I had also lived in Ghana for about 8 years at the time that I got this gig. So I think I felt confident enough. But the other thing is, when I was recording, because I was recording in Ghana with Ghanaian colleagues, if I wasn't sure about something, I was able to ask.
Oh, I see.
And that's something that's important to me because, again, you can know a lot about Holland and about Dutch culture, but maybe you don't know as much as someone else, And
Yeah.
so being open to ask questions and kind of have that state of mind made it very easy to record. And I learned a lot. There were some things that were in the script that I was like, okay, I know this is Ghanaian, but I don't know where it's coming from. And the guys were able to say, okay, it's from this area. These kinds of people would say it, and that's what it means. And I was like, oh, great. You learn something new every day. So, yeah.
I see. Yeah, in the Netherlands, of course, you also have like different accents and different words that are used in certain regions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. You were in the Netherlands like last week.
I can't believe I didn't get to meet you guys.
Yeah, we're also sad about that. I saw the picture and I was like, oh, she's here.
Let's invite her, but it was
Yeah.
already too late.
Like,
Yeah, I missed you by one day. I was literally on the flight back to Australia, and I was like, oh no.
oh, you were on the flight as well.
Yeah, it was just a few hours. I didn't realize you guys were there. Maybe you had told me and I'd forgotten. But I was really bummed about it.
No, I didn't. Oh, I don't know if I told you that we were from the Netherlands. I don't know. I don't remember either.
Maybe
so
not.
it's
Yeah.
fine. Oh yeah, but that's. But what did you think of it?
Oh, it's a really beautiful country. I didn't see everywhere, but I went to Amsterdam. I went to Volendam, Ede. What's the place with the windmills?
The place
Place with the
that-
wind
that-
down.
they're-
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
We have a few parks across the land.
I think it's called Zans.
Zandam.
Zaandam. Zaandam.
Starts with a Z, ZAANS, and then I don't know if it's Shans or Scans. I don't know. I'll type it.
Zandstrand.
But I went there, and I got to see the clogs being made. There it is. I've almost sent it to you,
Okay, yeah.
and that was fun.
Zaanse Stans.
Oh.
Done. Yeah.
Now it
was
makes
beautiful.
sense.
I also got to have some peut-être frites. Is that right?
What? What did you?
Fries.
Oh, fries.
Fries.
Patat.
Patat.
Patat frites.
Did you also have stroopwafels?
I did.
Let's go.
What did you think of them?
And I had croquettes too.
Croquettes.
Croquettes.
Yeah, that was nice as well. I tried to do as much as I could. I went to Leiden.
Oh, Leiden.
Um,
That's so
so
close.
that's
to
so
us.
close.
That's so
I
close.
thought it was,
We're like,
oh, really?
yeah. We are in the Hague. It's like under Leiden.
We just missed each other. Yeah, but I did enjoy it, and I guess again because I love history and looking at how the world, the world we know today was made, and all, the Dutch have such a huge hand in building the new world, and so all the things I've researched and read over time, it was interesting connecting it back to a physical place. So
I see,
it
I see.
was great.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Carolina also went to the Netherlands, and you went to the Netherlands. Are Valorant voice actors like attracted to the Netherlands?
Oh, next Valorant Agent League. Mage from the Netherlands.
Oh gosh, it's a beautiful place. I definitely would like to go back very soon. Yeah.
Let us know. We can do another podcast in the studio. Yeah, but
But how long do the sessions the period of time that the sessions take, how long is that?
Like the voice acting
it's a-
sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the recording sessions. It
The
depends.
recording.
It depends on how much material needs to be recorded. In the beginning, I was going in for a few days, a few hours each day. But of recent times, maybe I have just less to record, so maybe it's just a couple of hours. So it's not like weeks and months. It's nice short days.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Does it get tiring? Like your voice starts to hurt, or
No. I mean, I think this is the thing that if when you're a trained performer, you kind of have to do things to ensure that you're using your voice correctly to avoid strain. And so if it was longer sessions, I would warm up more or do particular warm-ups. I always have water and maybe some warm or hot, water by my side. So when we take a break, I just drink a bit of that to keep my vocal cords lubricated. But it's not too hard on the voice. So yeah.
speaking
It's
about water,
fine.
I lost my water bottle. I don't know where. Anyway, yeah.
Has there been anything you've recorded that hasn't been added into the game?
Oh, I really don't know. The original recordings, I noticed on YouTube there are people who have done compilations of all of Astra's lines.
Yeah.
And so, what you'll find is they may, for each line you do a few takes. So they may have chosen a particular take. But really, in terms of lines that are recorded, it's up to them what they want you to record, but it's also up to them what they want to use.
Okay. So
Yeah.
they don't tell you like, oh, we're not gonna use this one. We are gonna use this one. It's just.
No, and I guess that's the thing is our job as the actor is to deliver the lines, and then it's the job of the director or the team to say, this is what we're releasing, this is what's what will be used, because they know what the life of the game is supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did you suggest some lines yourself, or was everything pre-decided?
No, Riot are really good at collaborating. It's one of the things I love most about working with them, especially because I think, like I said at the beginning, they're very intentional about the research they do as a team to make sure that each character from a non-Western background is very well fleshed out and well researched. They don't want to be ignorant about whatever they release. And so what then happens is if I go into the recording studio and there are a few lines and I'm like, okay, I would give you this line, but I'd like to suggest this or that. And usually they're very happy to hear it. Sometimes they use what's been suggested. So, for example, one of the lines people seem to like a lot is, I call you Charlie because you're my friend. That line.
Yeah.
Yes, I made a slight edit in one of the takes, and that's the take that they chose. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're very cool that way. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Oh, what is your favorite voice line?
Ooh.
My favorite. I actually like blasting them, but no one ever says that one. No one ever asked me to say that line, but I like it. I think I like the line that was in the original release video for Astra, where she says something like, time, what is it? Time and space, they're not what you think.
Oh.
Can't remember the beginning of the line. Yes.
Yeah, and then like
But
her
I
agent
really-
select thingy.
Say
Before
that
the
again,
game,
sorry?
before the game starts, you have the agent selection screen.
I think that's her line. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I'm on a higher plane, literally, and then she says, "Relax, my friends." time and space, they're not what you think.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's my favorite line.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. What? Johnty's showing me his phone. I don't know what he means.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
It rang, but I have it like turned off. The sound was off, but I still heard it.
Are there any future projects with like Astra?
As in like for Riot?
I don't know, just anything that's upcoming with Astra. If you can talk about that, of course. I don't know,
Yeah, I can't talk about too much. Just because I think Riot have their own timelines, but in terms of Astra is very much still there, and you might be hearing some new stuff from her. I don't know when, but I guess you can look forward to that.
Okay, good. Because I like there is a character in Payday, for example, and the voice actor left, and what they did, they got old voice lines and pasted them together in order to keep the character running for new voice lines.
Oh,
And it sounds very strange. It's yeah. Okay. We already talked about a lot. Already half an hour passed. Time flies by. It's we're having fun, right?
always.
So yeah, do you guys maybe have? Oh yeah, the play with Harry Potter. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah. So, what do you want to know?
I don't know how like how did that come to existence? I guess how yeah.
I mean, like, it's the typical actor's story. My agent sent me a message that they were casting. So with a lot of the what we call commercial theater or Broadway or West End plays, they run for years, on at a time.
I see.
And so of course people want to move on, or they get cast in different shows, or they want to have a family, get married, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And so for different reasons, every year people leave the show, so they have to recast and get new actors in. And
I
so
see.
I returned to Australia last year from Ghana, and my agent said, would you be interested in being in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child? And I read Harry Potter when I was young. My siblings and I all read it when it first came out, way back in, I think, 96, 97. And so, I was already a fan of the books. So I was like, why not? So yeah, I auditioned last year and I was cast as a swing. So that means I have 3 different roles that I learnt. And depending on when somebody is off or sick or on leave, I step into those roles, one of those roles.
I see. But it was only like it was only in Australia, right? That play.
No, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child has a cast in Melbourne, which is Australia. That's the one I'm in.
Okay.
But there's also New York, there's San Francisco, there's Tokyo, there's Berlin, and there's London. So depending on where you are, you can see the show.
I wonder if they're all in English, or do we have Japanese Harry Potter?
I believe Tokyo is in Japanese. I will have to check, but as far as I know, it's in Japanese. And then Berlin, I think, is also in German.
Uh-oh.
In German Harry Potter. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So it's cool.
It is. It's very cool that you did that. I also watched Harry Potter when I was a kid, and yeah, I don't know. I was a fan. I even like at school we used to have like a carnival, yeah, and we used to dress up and stuff. I dressed up once as Harry Potter when I was like a little kid. I have a picture of it still somewhere. It's yeah, I do look like him because I have like a bit long hair, so I just painted it black and stuff. And yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, we already talked about a lot. We blasted through all the questions. It's already half an hour past.
Well done.
Yeah, you're very fun to talk to. It's very nice.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. No one wants to be boring, I tell you that much.
Yeah. So anyone still have questions for each other? Maybe.
No.
Oh, okay. Effie, maybe you have questions for us. I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, I am curious as to what made you guys decide, to have a podcast.
In general, or with you as a guest?
Just in general.
Oh, in general, the podcast in general.
Yeah.
Bit of a combination, right?
We have like an esports program in school where we do like games and how you can use education and games like together to like like gamification, and if you can learn something out of gaming. And we were like, we have a media team who post media and stuff, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have like a podcast and then interview people that have an influence in gaming? So you can show people like, oh, there are careers within gaming, and you don't even necessarily have to game yourself, and you can be a part of gaming in a way. And it's like, yeah, and I find it just fun to do, to just talk to people and see what they are like. So that's kind of how they came together.
I like it. Perfect. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think it's cool. I find that gamers are generally, I mean, I hear there are some scary gamers, but then in general, I find gamers to be really fun. So people are always like, you've done a few of these podcasts. I'm like, the gaming community are so much fun to talk to, in my experience. So yeah, anytime I get asked to do an interview, I'm like, yep, let's do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's how we came for the podcast, and we saw it's kind of inspired by Texture. You also went on a podcast with him.
But it's so funny.
Huh?
Earlier in the interview, I mentioned speaking to a particular gamer, and I was like, I couldn't remember his name. Just a second ago, I was like, oh, it's Textures. As soon as I remembered it, you mentioned him.
Oh my God, yeah. It was foreshadowing to this.
Yeah, I'm a bit freaked out by that. But yeah, he's one of my favorite, interviewers. Talking with him is so much fun. Have you guys spoken to him yet?
I have not spoken to him yet.
Nope.
No.
Oh, I think you'd enjoy a conversation with him. He's really, obviously as a gamer who streams, he's spoken to almost, I think, 11 Valorant voice actors, and he really, he's a lot of fun. So I think we have a couple of interviews with Textures online. Yeah.
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 Didn't he speak to all of them? No.
I don't know if he's spoken to everyone, but I know at the last count I saw, it was about 11 of us. So that's quite a high number.
I mean, if he's down, I take inspiration for him. He literally inspires me to be like, oh, hey, maybe I should do things this way. I kind of learn from him.
You should reach out to him then. I think you guys would have a great time talking about this, because he is a gamer. He could give more interesting thoughts than I can, I think.
Okay, yeah, it's an idea. It's an idea. Okay. Yeah, I think we're nearing the end then. Sadly.
Ooh, I know, regrettably.
Well, yeah, thank you for joining, of course, Effie.
No, thanks for asking me. I'm humbled and honored. I love speaking with gamers, and you guys have been really nice and easy to talk to. So, well done.
It's been an honor to have you on, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also thank my co-hosts for joining me again. Rachel for the first time, but still. Yeah, you can find Effie's socials in the description if you want to follow her, look her up, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I'll see everyone later again. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the ROCM podcast. You can follow us on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter with the handle @ROCM_esports.